Having travelled so much during my early career, I realised how little I'd seen of Ireland. Even as a truck driver back in the day, I'd be all around Galway and Kerry and Cork, but at night, so you don't really see very much. My name is Ryan Milligan. I'm a lecturer in the Astrophysics Research Centre here at Queen's University Belfast. So I'm from the fishing village of Ardglass in County Down. After school, went into the family fish business for a few years, got my HGV licence, did a lot of manual labour jobs, and then thought it's maybe time I got a degree. So I came here as a mature student to Queen's when I was around 24 to study astrophysics. So I was here for 9 years as a student, and during my time as a PhD student I got the opportunity to work at the NASA Goddard Space Flight Center outside of Washington DC for a couple of months a year, and I made a lot of connections during those visits, and at the end of my PhD they offered me a job and I moved there straight out of my PhD. Funding started to dwindle down, so the opportunities to stay in the States kind of went away, and a job came up here at Queen's. Back then, it was a 3-year position, so I moved home in 2011. I started getting funding in the US, so I had to then divide my time between Belfast and Washington DC, and so I moved 25 times in 9 years between Belfast and DC. So I was in my 30s, I had no ties or connections, so it was a fantastic opportunity, but it's tiring after a while. It wears down on you, you know, sustaining friendships and not seeing family and stuff. So eventually I applied for a research fellowship in the UK. Fortunate enough to get one of these, and I took it to the University of Glasgow. And after about a year and a half there in Glasgow, a job came up here in Belfast. So I moved home in the summer of 2019. You know, in hindsight with what happened over the last few years, I'm so glad that I was home in Belfast. And again, it got me back into truck driving again here during lockdown and helping out with supermarket deliveries, and that was good for my mental health. Having travelled so much during my early career, I realised how little I'd seen of Ireland. And even as a truck driver back in the day, I'd be all around Galway and Kerry and Cork, but at night, so you don't really see very much. So again, soon into lockdown, I bought a camper van and started driving around Ireland, and it gave me a new appreciation of where I actually live. I strongly encourage people to travel and to live abroad. I have 2 students currently living and working in Washington DC. I'm trying to give them the opportunities that I had as a student here at Queen's, get them living and experiencing life in other countries with other people. Get out of those journeys what you can and bring those experiences back home. That's what I try to do, is use my experiences of living abroad and bring that back, and now teach the next generation of how to go and make the most of these opportunities that we afford them. I don't know, it's just home, it's where you're from, you can't replace where you grew up, and so there'll always be that connection, whether you can try and quantify it or put a finger on it or not, but it's definitely that just feeling of home.